Hello, my name is Melissa Carter, and I am the blogger at You Only Have Your Shelf to Blame, which is a blog about the books that are on my bookshelf. And it was inspired by the pandemic and a move when I was unpacking boxes and spending a lot of time at home. I looked at all my books and I thought, this is really interesting collection that I have going on because it's very diverse. Today's offering is a digital book off my digital library. I love audiobooks as well. And if you're someone who's always stuck in traffic or somebody who does like a lot of projects, instead of listening to music, sometimes you can listen to an audiobook and get a lot of books, off your to-do list. But it should be something that's enjoyable, not an obligation. And this book is such a joy to read or to listen to. If you are a geek, this is a must. If you're a geek, you probably have already read this book. You could read it again. If you don't consider yourself a geek, but you played video games growing up, in the 80s in particular, then this book is for you. If you're somebody who was exposed to video games, if your brother or sister played video games, and you know about them, then you should read this book because it's such a well-written book. It's Ernest Cline's Ready Player One. And I know there's a second one that has come out. And I know that there's a movie. But let me make this point about the movie. I did not like the movie. I loved this book. And if Steven Spielberg, who directed the movie, who was one of the most brilliant directors, one of the best directors ever, he's my favorite, if he can't pull off Ready Player One, the movie, then you understand the difficulty in trying to make a movie out of this book. I was shocked that Hollywood even attempted to, because there are just some books that you can't imagine them on the screen. This is one of them. This is one that I don't even think they should have tried. But it is the story of a virtual world that a poor person escapes into. And it involves a lot of gaming. But it's not just about gaming. To me, it's like a hybrid of video games and if Facebook were virtual, meaning that there's a virtual space called the Oasis in this book. And to me, it sounds like something that could very easily happen, which is a virtual reality type world where you are socializing and doing everything in this world. And then your real life world is just sitting in your bedroom, sitting in your apartment, sitting in whatever space you have, the stacks. As they called it in Ready Player One, where our protagonist lives, which is a poor section of town. And then you invest in equipment that helps you be part of that virtual world. I mean, to me, it's nostalgia because it has to do with a lot of nostalgic video games, but it is also prophetic. Because, like I said, it makes you wonder if that's the world that we're heading into. It's just, I don't want to give too many details because it's just a wonderful experience. And the funny thing is with my friends, I'm a certified geek. I love everything geek. I was introduced to the geek world through Star Trek, and I love everything science fiction, and I love everything fantasy, and I love imagination. And I love stories like this, and this is an adult novel because I always talk about how young adult novels tend to be the ones where you get to have imagination, where with Cline, this is meant for adults, and he does a good job with the imagination within this, and the writing is superb. But I find that in my geek world, I'm friends with a lot of guys. There's a lot of women geeks too, but I don't know if they express it as much as guys do. And so I have a lot of guy friends who are geeky. And I'm the one that introduced them to this book because what I found was with a lot of guys, and I'm stereotyping, with the guys in my circle, they're not avid readers. I can't, my brother is an avid reader. And I'm trying to think of any other man in my life that's an avid reader. And I've heard this concern before about how men tend to not read as much as women do. But I told them about this book. I said, look, you trust me. Because I find a lot of times when I say, hey, why don't you try this out? Trust me. They're like, well, I don't know, but they're the very ones to turn around and tell me what I should do. But I did. I said, you just trust me, whether it's the audiobook or the physical book, just read it. And they came back obsessed with this novel. So it is a good story. And like I said, even if you're not a geek, it's still a good story. But if you were somebody that has ever felt like you are, a genre type person, again, fantasy, science fiction, gaming, whatever it is, if you have not read Ready Player One, you are doing yourself a disservice. So we do have a link below to the copy of Ready Player One. And if you have a book that you also consider to be something that not a lot of people may know about and not a lot of people have been exposed to and read, but they need to, like, what is that book that's on your shelf that's like, look, this should be more popular than it is? Now, Ready Player One was very popular, but I don't know how many, I don't know a lot of people who've read it except my geek friends, right? Because I told them about it. But leave it in the comments below and any other feedback you have about Ready Player One and how you felt about the movie. And you can always go to my blog. You only have your shelf to blame because the blog and the videos complement each other. So the blog is not a transcript of the video. I talk about other things in the blogs as well. And you can see below where you can text a certain code, and then you can have that blog sent to your inbox, into your mailbox each week. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time. All right, bye-bye.